Well, hello everybody. Welcome to 2020. Happy New Year. I hope you've had a good break. I've had a short break. Lots happening at the very start, even before the old year finished. Very sad start to the year with all the fires and very much loss of life. And we send our condolences to all those affected by the fires with family tragedies. Also, 2,000 houses lost, massive disruption to these communities right across the coast, southern New South Wales into Victoria, South Australia. Kangaroo Island is devastated, fires in West Australia and Tasmania, so right across the country. This is just dreadful. It was pleasing to see, firstly, the insurance companies coming out very quickly to start their immediate responses. They don't get access to the fire grounds until it's safe to go in. They've got to wait till the authorities give clearance. But they've been doing a hell of a lot to start up their processes and to provide whatever assistance they can, particularly for immediate cash grants, accommodation support and so on, and that's just fantastic to see that happening. Some other businesses started to do things. The bank's coming out with programs to help people. Business Council of Australia came out with a program particularly to help the children of the firefighters who lost their lives. A number of other people doing things, and we sat back and thought, what can NIBA do? What can brokers do? And we thought, well, brokers can do what they do best, which is to help people with their claims in times of need. And so we spoke to a few people. We spoke to the President and put together the Bushfire Community Support Initiative. And it's just been fantastic that so many insurance brokers have put their hand up to help people with their claims if they need help, and to do this as a community service, free of charge to the people involved. This is just phenomenal, and it's been so well received by many in everywhere that we've mentioned it to. We're putting our thing at the moment is to spread the word as far as we can. Communication with many of these communities is incredibly difficult. It's just incredibly difficult. All the normal mechanisms are not working well. Somebody said the best thing you can do is just put up notices in the local pub, and we'll think about that as well. We're thinking about as many ways as we can to get the message out that we've got brokers happy to help in this massive time of need. I think it'll be a slow process to kick off, but we will see how we go, and we'll certainly keep taking all the steps we can to make sure that those affected are aware of this service. We'll be doing a lot of work through local councils over the next few days, and hopefully that will also help the process as well. So we'll continue to watch that. We'll continue to do whatever we can. We work very closely with the Insurance Council of Australia and with the insurance companies. This is the insurance industry under notice. Everybody's watching. It's being mentioned on the news nearly every night. So our goal is to do what we can to support these people and to help these communities recover. There'll be lots of questions happening, particularly from, if it looks like there's going to be a Royal Commission, that's going to be important. The Royal Commission that followed the Victorian fires in 2009 did a lot of very good work, and I expect the same thing will happen here. So we would look forward to playing an active role in that on behalf of the brokers across Australia. And it is across Australia. It's not just brokers in sort of southeast New South Wales, in Victoria. It's brokers right across the country who've put their hand up to help. And we're so impressed by that and so grateful for the willingness to help with this project. So we'll see how we go. What I was going to do in January was to do a lot of work on the reforms. This was going to be the year of reform, with all the proposals coming out of the federal government following the Royal Commission. Haven't really done much work on that yet, but we will be doing on that. We will be working on that very shortly. We've put in a submission to the government on claims handling as a financial service. That went in at the start of the year. It doesn't really apply. It won't really affect insurance brokers when they're acting on behalf of the client to guide and help the client with their claims. It will impact on brokers if they've got a claims handling authority from an insurer. So we're wanting to make sure that the technical detail is correct. We've put forward a number of suggestions or areas where the draft legislation needs to be clarified. We've had some good engagement with Treasury about that. So that's a work in progress. The other work in progress is design and distribution. This is legislation already in place, but it was very unclear how it would apply to general insurance. So we're working with the Insurance Council and the insurers to come up with an overall approach to work within general insurance. Insurers have to develop these things called a target market determination. We want to know what they're going to look like, how they're going to work, and what will be the role of brokers in this. So that's some really good work that we're doing with the ICA, and as that starts to come together, we'll put out some information and tell everybody about it. The DDO, the design distribution requirements, start in April 2021, so we've still got 12 months to get ready, but I think there'll be a lot of systems changes, a lot of other procedures changes that'll have to be done, and I think nearly every broker is going to have to do some training in the second half of this year so that they understand the design distribution obligations and the specific obligations that it will apply for insurance brokers. So that's a project which is also well underway. The federal government is consulting on a few other things at the moment. One particular which is important is the proposal out of the Royal Commission for a last resort compensation scheme. Now, what that's all about is that when in the past there's been awards by FOS and awards by AFCA where they've been ordered to pay compensation. Primarily this is financial planners we're talking about and investment advisors. They've been ordered to pay compensation by FOS or by AFCA, but they've gone out of business and there's no one to pay the compensation. The company's gone bust. And that leaves the victims of the rip-off unfunded. So the government is looking at setting up a compensation scheme to provide funding for this framework. We have got a consultation paper, and one of the next things on my list is to have a really good look at that and to see what the implications will be for general insurance brokers. I'm really pleased to say that there are no unpaid awards out of FOS or AFCA against insurance brokers. That's a fantastic position. So that means that we really shouldn't be contributing to a compensation scheme if our members, if brokers are actually paying the FOS awards as they're made. I really don't think there's any need for us to be participating in any broader financial services scheme. We'll just have to see how that all pans out, but that's going to be an important one. Also, just before Christmas, the ACCC issued their second major report on the Northern Australia insurance issues. We're still digesting that. That's a major report. I think they're struggling to come up with something that's going to have a fairly immediate impact on availability and affordability of insurance in Northern Australia, particularly North Queensland. So that's an important report. We'll be looking at that this year as well, and we'll be continuing to liaise with the ACCC and with the federal government on those matters, and working very closely with our members in Cairns and Townsville, Rocky and so on, just to see how the markets are going up there. So that's something else that's happening. General Insurance Code of Practice is out. That's starting to be phased in during the course of this year, and so all the insurers have to be fully operating under the new code from 1st of January 2021, and any insurance broker acting under an authority of an insurer, either to sell policies or to handle claims, will also be bound by the new GI code. So the thing that we want brokers to think about is training. If you do have authorities from insurers, you have to do the training and be fully competent in the new code. But even if you're not, even if your concentration on looking after your clients, acting for your clients, we still think it's important that you be aware of the new code and the standards that the code sets that your clients are entitled to expect. So we think that in order to advise your clients properly and to be professional in this whole thing, you probably do need to do some training. We probably need all brokers to do some training on the General Insurance Code. And we're talking with ANZIF about training opportunities, excuse me, but we'll also talk to other RTOs to see what they might be offering as well. The only other thing that's on our list that we want people to know about, which is really important, is the provision of data into APRA. Insurance brokers have to provide data into APRA, and the way that happens is going to change, and some things are going to start happening at the end of March this year. So we're putting information in our magazine about that, and we'll also be circulating some information to members. So you need to watch out about the changes in relation to APRA Data and how that works, and keep an eye out for that. I think all the business managers across the brokers will need to be aware of that one. So our primary focus at the moment is the bushfires, but whilst we're doing that, we're also doing a lot of work in relation to the reforms coming out of Royal Commission. So I thought it was going to be a busy year. It's going to be an even busier year with all the fires going on. I'm confident that the insurance industry, the insurers, the brokers, everybody will do a phenomenal job to help people caught by the fires. We'll certainly, from a NIBA perspective, we'll do everything we can to help that process. So I wish everybody a tremendous year. I know it's going to be a lot of very hard work, but I do wish you all the very best, and I hope to get a chance to meet you at one of our events in the not too distant future. Thanks very much.